All right, so I'm kind of winging this. This is something I typically I do daily tarot, and we do all signs and love and all of those types of things. But I've been saying all this week that I was just going to do a video on. We're just going to kind of talk about relationships, that sort of thing. So it's not really tarot questions. So I'm not like taking questions and going to answer things based on the tarot or anything like that. It is a Saturday, so I don't expect it's going to be too busy in here. In fact, I don't see anybody yet, but that's okay. I'm going to record this this way because it'll be around for viewing at later times anyway. Oh, hey Crystal Beauty, hey Poke Sinet. Right on. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey Chaos, what's up? Hi L. All right, we got a few people in. So basically, yeah, honestly, the first title I had for this video, but I decided to change it because I don't know, how user friendly it would be for YouTube, but I titled it Relationships 101 on Crack. Okay, because it's like it's we'll talk more about some things going on. So hey guys, hey, nice to see everybody. Okay, so first off too, in no way, I don't mean to come off like, oh I know so much about relationships, oh I'm such an expert or anything like that. I mean I I've had my own challenges, that's for sure. But this does come from, I read tarot every single day. I get a lot of insight into, a lot of averages, a lot of common themes, a lot of those types of things. I have life experience just from friends, and I was always the go-to person. People call, kind of thing, even before tarot. So there's some things to work off of, and we all have this emotional intelligence ability and all of that. You guys are probably most likely, if you're into tarot, you're probably that person too, the one who everybody calls, because you probably have that kind of openness to things and all that sort of thing. So again, so I'm not like trying to portray some sort of relationship expert or expertise or anything like that. But there's certain things that we are all good at or whatever, and have certain things. And my astrology chart is really set up for more this type of work. I just avoid it usually. so but anyway, so basically this tonight is not about like, we're not gonna like talk about like all the crappy, unhealthy relationships, or it's not a place to vent. It's not a place to, it's not anything like that. We're gonna look at healthy relationships, okay, and that sort of thing. So I have some notes in front of me, and that kind of deal. So basically, the first thing I have to start off with is let's look at what is a healthy relationship. Okay. And so what occurred to me, I have it written down here, is a healthy relationship one that has lots of conflict, issues, it's on and off again? Yes, it is actually. The difference is that can just as easily be an unhealthy relationship. So yeah, a healthy relationship does have freaking conflict. It does have issues, and it is on and off again many times. All right. But as I said, so is an unhealthy one. So it's like, it's the way that we approach, certain things that make the difference. So in order, and I've got some keynotes here about like, what does make the difference between healthy and unhealthy, because if there's conflict, issues, and on and off again in both, then, what makes a difference, right? So the first thing I have down is, by keeping it real. And, I think that's where, I think one of for, now this is mostly geared towards women, because honestly, I have a whole set of different kind of things that men, I feel, deal with, and I might do a separate one. I don't know if there's any interest in it. We'll see. Just from my takes on certain things, and because I study people, that's what I do. I always have since I was a child. I was a people studier. But like one of the first things, like by keeping it real. And so what I mean by that is, I think a lot of people, we why do we feel this need, for relationships and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, I have a weird theory on that, and, I don't want to sound too unromantic with it. And I've talked about it before briefly in other videos, but to put it in a nutshell, a lot of times I think that it's more about that, we meet somebody, there's the attraction level, there's all those things, the chemistry and all of that. But I think more on a cosmic level, that it's more about, we kind of need something that person can and fulfill, and vice versa. And, that's why, I've mentioned this theory kind of before. I think that's why when there's breakups and things, it's many times, a lot of times, because that person received what they needed from that person and has now changed and is ready to move on to something else, but this person failed to get what they needed. So that they're thus, they cling, they hang on, and they try to work it out with this person because they didn't get what they needed. And so that's why oftentimes I think we have patterns, and then we go and we finally give up on that one, but the very next person we date is very similar. They might be a lot different on the personality level, but it's still because it's that same need that we still need to get fulfilled. So I think that's why we have patterns a lot of times, is because that's what's going on. So, but by keeping it real, I mean, that, of course, we don't want to lose the element of romance and magic and, all of those beautiful things too. But I think a lot of times we got to check in with ourselves. Like, are we in a realistic relationship? I mean, if we're in a relationship where, the dude's been married for 5 years and, oh yeah, baby, I'm getting really close to leaving, but, I have these responsibilities. Oh, I've got to take care of this, or blah, blah, blah. Is this a realistic relationship? And that's what I'm saying, where we need to keep it real, because it's like we're fooling ourselves at this point. It's like, I mean, and I don't mean to put, to insult anyone or anything like that. And because it's nothing about intelligence. This is all about our hearts, about like, all kinds of things like that. But, and hopes and all of that. So it's nothing to do with someone's intelligent level or anything like that, obviously. So, but there is a realism that we have to address at times, if we're in this like relation, and they don't even have to be married. Sometimes they're just ringing us along, because that's one of the things. And again, I'm mostly gearing this towards females. If there's an interest in a male version on this, I'll do that too. But, for one of the things to realize about males is, I mean, if you're making yourself available, then why would they end it? It's like, I mean, if you're not, if you're staying in this and continuing on with no promise, well, there might be a promise, but with no evidence of them giving you any sort of commitment or whatever it is that you are looking for fulfillment, then it's, guys, they why would they get rid of a good thing on the side if there's no reason to get rid of it? I mean, they're pretty physical beings, and they operate a lot different than us. So, it's like, and I'm not saying all men are jerks and they'll just string you along. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I'm saying in this particular instance, I mean, where they are, it's like, give them a reason then, to leave, to say, no, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm never like a big fan of like just total ultimatums and things like that. I think that's just pushes people away and all of that. But at some times we have to do that for ourselves, in that respect. But anyway, so keeping it real, I think is one of the main things of like, with yourself and with, your situation and all of that. We'll get to the next one. Let me take a look, see if you guys are into this or not. Awesome title. Oh, good. I forgot what I named it, but right on. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi, Nadia. We're doing a little different format today, so we're not really doing tarot stuff. Please address the sad subject of women and men waiting. I just do not know any logical, I think, reason to wait for a man to come back. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no card readings. Yeah, thanks, Chaos. We're just hanging out. We're talking a little relationship video kind of thing. All right. So yeah, of course, we'll definitely get to that, because then I just kind of touched on that, about women waiting when there's no logical reason for them to come back and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, we've all been there. I've been there. We've all fucking been there. All right. So, and that's one of the things too, is that I want to talk about real quick too, is a lot of times, especially when we're like waiting for someone to come back, or we are really wanting this person to just see like how amazing it would be, you know, if they just gave us a chance, and like all of these types of things, all the common things that we go through. Um, I wonder a lot of times, just because I analyze myself a lot, and, I'm a human being. So obviously there's some common ground between all, before all of us. Right. So, and I notice with myself a lot of times when I'm super pining for someone, if there's somebody that I'm like really stuck on and I'm pining for them, and maybe they're not paying attention to me, or maybe they're not coming around, or maybe they're not, putting effort in, and, that sort of thing. Those times in my life, I've really, a couple things. A is that it's not really them that it's like I'm really pining for. It is more that I want a shakeup of my current situation. I want a way out, you know, be it, and I'll be completely truthful here, be it financially, okay? Because I've found myself, when I've looked back, it's like I've been pining for, this person or this situation, whatever, and when I'm really honest with myself, like, and I'm talking about super honest, it's many times it's not because it's them that I'm so in love with. It's just that maybe I'm in a financial hardship, and it would be nice to be rescued. And, I know that sounds weak, and it sounds this and whatever, but again, I'm a big fan of honesty. So, and those are the kinds of questions I look deep within myself these days. So, like, I don't get in those situations anymore. These are revelations I had in my 40s, and things like that, that many times that's what I was really after, was more security or a way out of my current situation. So, like, for instance, if I was with someone, but then, and I've never cheated, and I mean that, sincerely, and, honestly, and all those things, I never have, but it depends on your definition. I've thought about it, things like that. So, and, typically it's because I'm not happy in my current situation. So here's this other distraction, to get me, somewhere. So, and that's really unfair to put all of this, because I've realized there's been times in my life where I've been like super stuck on people. All right. And it's like, I realize now the energy that I put on them, by thinking about them every second, thinking about this, thinking about that, dreaming about them, whatever, is what I'm saying. And it's like, that's a lot of energy to put on to someone. And it's really not fair, because the thing is, if you're putting out that much energy on someone, if they can't feel that back and then respond back with the same, then they ain't feeling it. And sometimes we just have to chalk it up to that, and we have to understand that it's like, it ain't happening. They're not into us. And that's one of the hardest things to kind of accept, because, our logical mind wants to go to, oh, but if they could just see how I've changed, or, oh, if they could just see me in this way, or they could just see how good a cook I am, or, how I can do this, or, or how good in bed I am, or, whatever, it's like all these things that, if they could just, and it's like all that energy, it's like they would feel it. You feel it when people put it on you, right? You've had people stuck on you before. You feel that energy. And it's like, you don't want it, but you feel their damn energy. So it's the same thing. Don't think they don't feel it either. If they wanted it, they'd come and get it. And it really does boil down to, it's as simple as that. And that's probably this whole thing in a nutshell. All right, because there's a lot of simplicity to this. If they want it, they're going to come and get it. All right, that is the bottom line. They no excuses. I mean, think about if you're into somebody, what are you doing? You're responding to their damn text. You're not sitting on it for a week. It's like, you're not you're not canceling plans. You're not making apologies for things. If you're into somebody, you're into them, and you follow through. It's the same thing with a guy, or a female, or whatever. It's like, if they're into you, they follow through. If they're not following through, unless there's, and I always say this too, unless there's absolutely legitimate issues, okay, like they have a shit ton of work, you know, they've got to like work straight for a month to get to some kind of thing. And, you know, sure, you know, there are some valid reasons, and that's just using your own, you know, judgment and logic and all that. But if it's not that, you know, and they'll make all kinds of excuses and say it's work or say it's this or say it's that. But if you kind of really know that they're not interested, and it's doing yourself a huge honor to realize that and just do your best to shut it down. And we can talk about how to shut down things like emotionally in a way to try to, you know, get somebody out of your head and all of that. I'm not a huge fan of like the whole cutting cords exercises and things like that. I think that's, I mean, some of it, you know, some rituals are good and helpful and all of that. I never found them that helpful personally. So, but anyways, so just a couple other things just about, and you know, I won't keep this too long, but hold on one second. Let me just look at the comments here. Yeah, exactly, Yuri Diana. Yeah, you got to be your best self for you. Perfect. Yeah. What do I think about a man that doesn't want you to move on with your life, but won't talk to you either and stalks you all the time? Well, I think you just answered your own question by writing that out. I mean, I would think that there's an issue. I mean, you know, somebody who doesn't want you to move on with your life, who does that? How on earth would that even, you know, be positive in any way? How can you spin that into a positive? If and that goes with any relationship, with a friend, with a family member, what have you. I mean, if somebody doesn't want you to move on in your life or want you to make changes, you know, to better yourself or what have you, then no, that relationship is not worth exploring or investing in. You know, it's as simple as that. And some of these things might sound cold and all that, and there's always buts. Well, what if, you know? Well, no, it's pretty simple. You know, if basically if people don't truly have your best interest at heart, then it's really, again, it's not. And when I say it's not worth investing in, that doesn't mean that the person isn't worth anything or that the person isn't, you know, it's not that. It's just that it's not worth investing your time and energy and thoughts and aura and all of, you know, all of those things in that. Why would you do that? You know, that seems very counterproductive for yourself. Conscious Journey to a Lasting Love is a great book to read. Okay, cool. All right. I haven't checked that one out, but yeah, I mean, there's a ton of fantastic books. Absolutely. Why do readers think karmic relationship needs to end before another relationship can start? Okay. That is a common theme many times. Usually because it's in the cards. It usually comes out that way, and that's why it might not necessarily be their personal opinion that needs to be what happened, but it's a very common theme in cards to see a karmic relationship needing to end before the next one starts. It comes out quite a bit. I mean, like I said, I do tons of reads every single day, and there's certain common themes that show up. That's one of them. Because I think it's the old, you know, that's where like all those old sayings come from. You know, when one door closes, another one opens, or what have you. I think that those old sayings are usually around, you know, for a reason. So, you know, it's not necessarily that the tarot readers think that, although they may. You know, I mean, sometimes we do put our own, you know, I mean, that's going to happen with tarot. I mean, tarot is a combination of receiving guidance, but it's also a combination of that, and then also the own readers sort of build up logic, because it takes logic sometimes to interpret the cards, but it's the spirit that's coming through giving you the cards. So, you know, readers are going to have you know, different takes on different things. That's why we vary so much, you know, a lot of us readers and things like that. Let's see. Is Martin stirring the shit? Now what are you talking about? Oh my God. We love Martin. Okay, so let's see. So the other obvious ones, as far as like healthy relationships, and why I'm saying, you know, is a healthy relationship one that has lots of conflict, issues, and on and off again? Yes, it is. And again, like the difference being, you know, learning from this shit, you know, because it's like most I would say, most of my relationships have been that type. There has been conflict, there has been issues, and there has been on and off again occurrences. I've had like three, four, I don't know, major relationships in my life, and they've all kind of ran that gamut. And it's like, maybe that's just me, I don't know, but it's like, it does seem to be, and I can look at which ones were healthy and which ones weren't. All right. And I mean, if you just have conflict, you just have issues, and you're just on and off again, and you ain't going anywhere, and it ain't changing, and every time you get back, like nothing changes, that's unhealthy. Well, where could that, that's just uncommon sense, that ain't going anywhere. But if when you have these conflicts, you have these issues, and maybe somebody leaves, but then you come back together and things like that, but you grow and you see improvements, then that is healthy. That is a healthy relationship. Because who the fuck has a perfect or healthy relationship, really? I mean, I don't know a single person. I know people who are close. They have good relationships. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like they were just completely healthy. From the beginning, and just all the way through, or anything like that. Of course, they had challenges, conflicts, obstacles. Maybe one of them left, they came back, what have you. So, so don't let those things like throw you. I'm not saying that, those things are unhealthy. And, I went real quick too, I kind of always get on the thing with the twin flame scenario, because, and it's not that I don't believe in twin flames or anything like that, but it's just, as far as the stuff that, a lot of the stuff that I do see on YouTube and things like that, it's like, I don't know, to me, everyone should be a twin flame. I mean, don't we all come here to share, like a heart, a soul, a thing, whatever, to accomplish a mission? We kind of do. We're all in this together, So, and it's like, although my problem with that scenario is that it's like a lot on YouTube is that it almost, it makes you think that it's okay to have this bullshit fucked up relationship. And oh, but that's my twin flame, that's my lot in life, that's my karmic partner. And no, that's an effed up relationship. That's what that is. And I when it's used as an excuse, no, I don't think that's it. Because to me, a twin flame relationship should be healthy. It should be, if you guys came here to perform a mission, well, then are you doing that? Because if you're not, how is that a twin flame? So that's something that, but I don't want to get people on too much on that bandwagon. So anyway, back to healthy. Obvious things, by having faith in your person. Because the thing is, if you are on and off again, when you come back around, if you're still expecting them to have the same behavior that created the off in the first place, then that's probably what you're going to get more of. But if you have faith in both of you as a relationship, if you have faith in your partner, that, like, let's say, they cheated, right? And, it happens. Okay. And for some reason, you forgive them, you decide to get back together. All right. Well, then forgive them and get back together, and don't expect them to cheat again. Have faith in them. Have faith that they meant what they said, that they'll never do that again. Have faith, until you don't. I always say, go with caution, and until they fuck up, then obviously, then all right, no. But, have faith that that is going to be a change. That is healthy. All right, but coming back together and then secretly fearing that they're going to do this again, or secretly fearing that you can't trust them, or that they haven't changed, is an unhealthy relationship. So, those things. Respect, obviously, key ingredient, respect your partner, and make sure they respect you. And, if they're not, then that's a deal breaker typically. By learning. So I think that's one of the key things, how to have a healthy relationship, is by learning. You guys learn from things, and, I can attest to this. This is, because I've been involved in these scenarios. And so, I learn, it's like, there's so many parts of it. Oh, if they would just do this, oh, if they would just do that, and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, we got to look at our role too. And there is a lot to learn from that. And they'll tell us, we just really have to hear, and really hear what it is that your partner is needing, because they might be saying it's ... but there's usually secret code in there for what they really need. And it's sometimes our job to try to figure that out from a human being in any relationship, because people don't always express themselves in whole truths. They'll give you pieces. And if you can kind of look deeply into that and kind of put that together, then you can really kind of grasp, what they're really needing. And if that's something that you can fulfill and you're willing to, and you're willing to learn, from past things of why they might be saying that, then that's healthy and good. And of course, this isn't just about you. They need to be doing these things too. Obviously. Next is by speaking up. And a very clear and apparent thing, but so often not done. I mean, I can't tell you how many times in tarot readings, in general, in personals, I pull the Eight of Swords. Super common card. Somebody trapped in their little mental prison, and we're not in the big mental prison, afraid to speak up, afraid to do, afraid that if they say this, the person's going to leave, afraid that they'll take it the wrong way and they're out the door, afraid. Afraid. So speak up. And the only time, the only thing I do say about that, though, is like, if you're going to speak up about something, a situation perhaps that's bothering you, or some information that you would like to have, some clarity or what have you, make sure, like, in starting that conversation, that it truly does start from a place of power and honesty. Make sure that you are honestly asking the question that you really want to ask, because we're so skilled at manipulating things, around to that we think will get us the answer, with navigating it right and all this kind of stuff, but it doesn't. And what will give you the answer is asking, in a very from an honest and an empowered place. So, and that comes from looking within, and looking at your own bullshit, and being honest with yourself. Why am I really in this relationship? Am I in this relationship because I truly love this person? Am I in this relationship because they're really good looking and it makes me feel good when I go out in public with them? Am I in this relationship because I'm financially secure now with this person? Look at the real honest reasons, and then pull from that. All right. So once you can look at those things within yourself, then it makes it easier to speak up and clarify in a really good way without manipulating things. We all do a lot of manipulating of deals. The last one I have here, as far as healthy relationships, is by expecting change. So, it'd be nice to stay in a nice little comfy bubble, of like, things are good now and let's stay here and yeah, this is awesome and snuggles, but it's like, but also keeping them, expect change. Things are going to change. Maybe you're married, your partner out of the blue gets a freaking job in New York City. You guys live in LA. Well, if you're expecting change and you're expecting that nothing stays in the cozy little bubble, then it's good. And I'm not saying expecting bad change or anything like that, just expecting change. So, don't expect things to stay the same and be all out of sorts when things change a little bit. Those are good ways to keep our brain. I'm gonna take a look and see what's going on over here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. I got a couple other things going on. Let's see. You were with one person for 30 years. Wow. All right. Yeah, that is hard. Dating probably does suck. I feel for you. I mean, the thing is, with the dating world and all that, because, I mean, I've somewhat ventured into it a little bit here and there, looking at the online stuff, and not recently or anything like that, but I've done it, so, and I feel your pain. And, I just, nobody's freaking honest on those things, including ourselves. I am, because I wrote the most ridiculously, like, honest profile ever. Probably in the history of dating. And I'm not even kidding. It was like, ridiculously honest. And like, I've talked about that before, and I got 50 million responses. I mean, I got a ton of responses from that because I was so fucking honest, and it's like, but dating, like online dating and things like that, oh my God, you don't know who you can trust. Are they really single? You know, do they really, you know, have a job? Do they really look like that? You know, there's like all these different things, you know, that it's just so up in the air. And you know, the problem is, you know, you get hooked, you know, you start talking to somebody and you're talking to them and forming a connection, but then like maybe the meat is a letdown, or like they lied and they're not available, or this or that, or the chemistry is really not there, even though the writing messages was, you know, it's so difficult. So I get all that, and it is hard, but I think, you know, it's so difficult because people are not honest. And, you know, I mean, until we can truly say that we are ourselves, then we really can't complain, you know, because like, oh my God, I can, you know, I hear that a lot. Yeah, what a douchebag, you know, he lied, he's married, and blah blah blah. But you know, I guarantee you, if I look at like her profile, you know, she's probably saying, oh, blah blah blah, and this and that ain't what she wants. You know, she probably, yeah, it's like, it's a lie too. You know, it might not be as blatant a lie, but you know, most people aren't very honest on those things. They're not on, even with themselves. Like they truly believe that's what they want. Oh, I just want a carefree guy. I just want to date and blah blah. You know, all, you know, go and do this and that. And maybe that's bullshit. Maybe all they really want to do is like sit around with their dude and cuddle and watch Netflix. You know, but they don't put that, you know, or they really want to be married, you know, but they, oh, I'm just kind of seeing what's out there. You know, no, you're not. You want to be married, you know, be honest. You know, that's what I'm saying, you know. And dudes, I mean, that's a whole nother story with their profiles, but yeah, you guys know that. So yeah, I feel for you. Dating sucks. Let's see what else we got. Oh, thanks, Chaos. All right, let's see. Especially online, it makes it easier because it's so impersonal. Yeah, absolutely. It's very easy to get away with those things. And yeah, it's a lot of bullshit. So anyway, all right, so let's see. Last things. Oh, okay. So I had a good analogy the other day. It was funny. I can't recall who it was. It was a personal reading I was doing. And I came up with a kind of an analogy in it, and I thought it was really good. So I kind of like kept it in mind to use for this show. So I used like a shoe shopping analogy. Okay, so I basically was saying like, all right, so hold on. For as far as like settling and things like that, because that's the other thing too. And you know, if you watch me a lot, you know I mentioned that a lot. Just because you have options doesn't mean you need to go with those, you know, hold out for what you want. So one of the things I mentioned that, and I thought it was a good analogy, and I think those always work well for us, is like, let's say you have an event to go to, right? And like there's this certain pair of shoes in mind that you have, you know, you want sort of like a classic pump, maybe, you know, perhaps a certain color, you know, maybe you're looking for like a bone, you know, kind of classic pump or something like that. And you have this image in mind of what you want and how it's going to look for your event, and that's what you want. All right. So you go shoe shopping. All right. And you have this pair of pumps in mind, and that's the style you want. That's the color you want, that sort of thing. Shouldn't be hard to find. Classic pair of pumps in a bone color, right? Should be easy. All right. So you go to the shoe store, and it's like a nice high-end shoe store, right? And there's this like, you know, couple pairs of shoes that are there, and they're like ridiculously marked down, you know, like they're usually like $1,500, but they're on sale for like $200. But they're like, you know, a different color, kind of a different style or something like that. But you look at them and you're like, damn, those are nice shoes though. And damn, only $200. They were normally $1,500. Those are nice ass shoes, you know, and you're looking at them and they're your size and all that. And you're like, all right, I'm going to get those. You see what I'm saying? It's like you started off with this idea of getting a classic, you know, classic pump, bone color, you know, all this kind of stuff. But the first thing the universe threw at you was this other flashy pair of shoes, maybe on sale. You know, things are on sale for a reason. And you go for those, you know, because it's like a good deal, you know, or it's like right in front of you, it's your size, you know, but that ain't what you wanted, you know. So you know, that's something to keep in mind. It's like, so in other words, if what you want is a relationship that's going somewhere, that's going to lead towards marriage, that's going to lead towards a good solid commitment and growing and all of those things, if that's the image that you want, you know, and you go to the relationship store, but there's this other dude who's half off, you know, and maybe he's kind of sexy and all that, you know, but he ain't going anywhere, you know, he's a Knight of Wands or whatever, you know, but he's half price and he's ready and he's willing, you know. If you take him, well, then the universe says, oh, okay, I guess she didn't want the, you know, nice, fancy dude that we were going to send her with the marriage and, you know, good relationship. She's willing to take this. Okay. You know, so it's like that's how those types of things work. So it's really important to stay true to what we are seeing. And just on that line too, real quick, two last things I want to wind down with. All right, so I always constantly mention that guy Quazi Johir here on YouTube. Okay, and I have no affiliation with him whatsoever. I don't know him personally or anything, but I watch his videos quite a bit. He mostly does manifestation videos on like money and things like that, you know, but he's not really a big relationships guy or anything. But I just take him and put them into terms of however. But basically, you know, he does a lot of manifestation videos. I highly recommend him. He's always in the description box of this video because I list some favorite people I have on YouTube, and he's in there somewhere near the bottom where I put other channels. And you know, one of the things, you know, of one of his videos I was watching recently that I've always been a fan of and like is you know, he's really trying to hit home that, you know, we have to, like, well, here's where we are. All right, so we have to look realistically at where are we right now. Are we in a happy situation? Are we in an effed up situation? Whatever the situation may be, we have to look at it for what it is. So we see ourselves in this position. Here's where we are. All right. So now we need to start creating the next scenario, because whatever we're focused on becomes our future. So if you're focused on, oh my God, are they going to call me? Oh my God, what if they're with somebody else? Oh my God, what if they're cheating on me? Oh my God, what if they're, you know, if you're focused on that, that's where your attention is going, and you're going to just create more of that. Okay, so rather than, let's say, you know, here you are, you see your reality, this person's not calling, this isn't, you know, blah, 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 it's kind of sucky. So, all right, I see that. I see this is not where I want to be. So where do I want to be? And then you start seeing yourself like happy. You start seeing yourself being more emotionally fulfilled. Even if it's not going to happen instantaneously, it's like you still are creating, you know, where your attention goes, you know, attention flows, attention goes, or whatever the damn saying is. But it is true. It is so true. And so the more that you can think about where you want to see yourself, what types of things you want to see happening for yourself, and focus on that. As long as that is the bulk of where you are thinking your thoughts, then that's where you're going to be headed. But if the bulk of your thoughts is, oh fuck, you know, this sucks, oh, they're not going to call, oh, blah blah blah, you know, and all the negative things, if there's more attention given to that, then you're just going to keep creating more of that. And you know, I know it's simple self-help, you know, whatever, but it's true. Okay, I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, I can't scientifically prove it to you, but in my experience, it has proven very true. So, you know, that's something, and probably in yours too, if you really think about it, you know, in those ways. Okay, and then the last thing I did want to mention was, what was it? Oh, okay, so one of the things I do a lot, like when I get personal, like requests, personal readings and things, you know, I have them kind of write out some questions, you know, what they want for their reading, right? So one of the things I'll do every once in a while, you know, is I'll bring up to the person before I start the reading, I'll say, look what you wrote me, you know, reread what you wrote me, because you've answered your own question. And that happens a lot. I don't always point that out to people, but like if it's very obvious, I will, and I'll mention it to them, because I think it's a good thing to do. So like if you're struggling with a relationship right now, or in the future, or what have you, just like, you know, for whatever sake, just pretend you're going to get a tarot reading. All right. And what would your question be to the tarot reader, right? So write that out, like, you know, because we usually like a little bit of a brief history of the situation, right? And, you know, kind of what's going on and then what your question is. So, like, if you write it out, you know, so, oh, you know, I'm a single Cancer, you know, I'm dating, whatever, you know, a Scorpio, or, you know, whatever your situation is, right? And then, and write out your question. Well, we've been on and off for the last 2 years, or, you know, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. Write out your question as if you're sending it off to a tarot reader, but, you know, don't. Yeah, I mean, you can if you want, but, you know, I'm saying, like, take that and then read it from the perspective of someone else. So pretend then that you are the tarot reader, or you're like a friend. Pretend this is your friend that has sent you this, all right? And read it from that perspective, all right? And what would you, without even getting out cards, what would you tell them? You know, kind of thing. So look at your own situation as if it's like a friend asking you. I hope that makes sense, all right? And see, you know, what comes out, because a lot of times just looking at the situation, like, kind of answer, you know, you might have a really great revelation just from that. So, I mean, all of this is, you know, hopefully to, you know, empower and all those things. I mean, we need to start, like, kind of kicking ass a little bit more, you know, because I don't know, I'm getting way too many kind of, you know, depressive ass readings coming across, you know, where it's like, I just, you know, it's like, damn, I just want to, like, people need to be empowered more, you know, kind of thing, you know, all of us, men, women, all of us. So, anyway, all right, I'm going to leave it there. It is true. Huh? All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I wanted to keep it kind of short. So thanks again for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys Monday for daily love reads. Let's hope they improve. Also, too, I have all the other uploads for the signs that are missing for this. Like, I'm uploading them now tonight. They take about an hour each to upload. It's a real bitch, so real drag. But I'm getting those out probably tomorrow, so during Sunday afternoon. So. All right. Oh, wow. Lots of convos I wasn't seeing here. All right. Thank you guys. And thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye.